Rob, one of the questions that I get asked, I'm not going to say frequently, but regularly, on a fairly regular cadence. One of the questions I've been asked over the years is, what do we think about the chances of another Tron movie? Right? And it's been challenging because the last Tron movie they did with great fanfare and didn't do what they were hoping it would do at the box office and didn't go over as well with people as they were hoping. There are some people who absolutely love that movie, others who were pretty indifferent towards it. And one of the things I said is like, it's always possible, but I feel like the longer we go, at least my thoughts have been, the longer we go without another Tron movie, I feel like the less and less the chances are that we're going to get it, particularly a sequel to that Tron movie. Well, Rob, I don't know all the details yet because, like I said, this thing just dropped like 20 minutes before we started the show. But it is now being reported on Deadline that Lion director Garth Davis is set to direct a new Tron movie starring Jared Leto. So apparently this thing is coming. This just dropped. Well, I'll read this first paragraph here, exclusive. After taking its time figuring out where it wants the next Tron installment to go, Disney's sci-fi franchise looks to have new life as we are hearing that Gareth Davis, Gareth Evans would be a very different director for this movie. Garth Davis has been tapped to direct the pick starring Jared Leto. Now, there's not many details here that goes into it, but they are making another Tron movie, which I think has got to be exciting for a lot of people. It's going to be starring an Academy Award-winning actor in Jared Leto. I think that sounds great. Rob, I can already tell you, though, right now, I already know there are going to be Tron fans out there whose enthusiasm is going to be tempered because with it starring Jared Leto, it appears, we don't know all the details yet, but at least on the surface, it appears this is not going to be a direct follow-up to the last Tron movie, and I think that'll disappoint some people. I think other people will just be excited we're getting another Tron. Again, I am very light on details right now because this dropped, but Rob, you're the one who told me about this just as we're about to start the show. What's your reaction to this and what direction do you think they're going to go?
Well, I have a little history with the franchise in that I did in 2002 a feature-length documentary about the making of Tron for the 20th anniversary DVD. So I love Tron. I was not as enamored of Tron Legacy as I wanted to be, although I was enamored of the Daft Punk score. Now, I think having Jared Leto interested, Academy Award winner. I mean, he's had a really interesting career. He was in movies like Fight Club. He was in a movie that I love called Mr. Nobody that I enjoyed. And, he had a role in American Psycho. And, of course, he was in Dallas Buyers Club. And he's had a really interesting career. And I think this might be the kind of thing that gets the movie made. Now, I still would like to see Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde and Jeff Bridges come back from Tron Legacy and be in the film. But if they're going to make this with the technology, the leaps in technology they've made even since Tron Legacy, this could be a really cool movie. And again, if they can make this and it doesn't have to cost, if they can make this for, say, $125 million as opposed to $200 million or $175 million, I think I would hope that they could get this thing made. I think people love Tron. I mean, everybody who's a kid who grew up with gamers, you can't look, even the movie is dated. Tron 1982 doesn't look like any other movie. They've never made another video game movie that looks like it. It has its own weird sort of retro look because it was the first movie that relied heavily on CGI. And I think people are very affectionate toward this franchise. And if they do make another Tron, if it's kick-ass and they have a good idea and the script is good, and they've got the cool Tron action we all love, I think it could be great. But, it's been 10 years since Tron Legacy. But I have to admit, I got my little Tron twinge up, the goodness of Tron. I want to see it.
Yeah, they never made anything again like it until, what year was it? Like 1984 or 1985? Remember they did that show, Automan?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the show? That was clearly a Tron ripoff.
Total Tron ripoff. What's funny now that Tron, the other movie that came out 2 years after Tron was The Last Starfighter. That was the big other CGI movie where they actually did something different rather than the computer world. They're in the real world, and they're talking about remaking that now, which is
Dude, The Last Starfighter is one that should have been remade years ago. I know, right? Desperately waiting for a Last Starfighter.
Sir, anyway, the Kodan Armada.
Oh, what do we do now? We die. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this announcement? Are you surprised? I got to admit, I'm kind of surprised. Are you surprised by this news? What do you think about the fact that they're getting Jared Leto starring it? Do you think this is kind of an indication that they're going to be going in a new direction? Maybe it's a reboot. Maybe it's not. What do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.